This time I'm going to be making Save the Queen from Final Fantasy IX. This is it's known for being Beatrix's sword, because it's the only sword she can ever equip. I'm going to be making this with EVA foam and doweling, so it's not really that complicated of a build. To start off with, you get the 2 EVA foam mats. Now I'm using 2 of these. If you're using a long roll, you can do it all in one, but these mats are only about 55-60 centimeters across, so I need to stick 2 of them together to make the 115 that I worked out this sword needs to be. Or then you draw the shape of the sword onto the mats. Now you can use drawings for this or templates. In my case, I just held a measuring tape out in front of me to be about the right length for the sword, which turns out to be 115 centimeters, or the length of 2 mats, fortunately. Then I just worked out everything else using a ruler. Then I drew it all onto the mat. Once it's all drawn onto the mat like this, you cut it all out and then make a second one just a little bit higher on the mat. Try not to waste as much as possible. I've cut out the front and back of the blade, of the at least out foam, and that's those 2. Now I'm going to stick the spine into it, which is going to be this bit of doweling. To do that, I just place it across the foam and then cut it just short of the top and just short of the back, and then cut second one the same length. Then I'm going to hot glue that down across the length. Then once I've done that, I'm going to finish the sandwich and glue this bit on the top. I've stuck the 2 parts of the blade together now, and now I have to put an edge on it, so I'm going to use an electric sander for that. If you don't have an electric sander, you can do it with a file. It just takes a lot longer, and I'm lazy and happen to have one. So I'm going to basically put an edge down here, do the 2 little indents on there, continue the edge down there and round this handle off so it's more of a smooth oval, like the rectangle there. And the same with this section, because that's going to be nicer to put the guard onto at the end, or to put the hand guard onto at the end. I've now done the edges, like such, put an edge on it, cut these little indents in. I'm now going to go in and do the more fine details with a rotary tool, which includes the detailing on the handle and these sections of the blade. And of course cleaning up this bit by here, because it's still a bit of a mess, because I couldn't get in there so much with the sander and grinder. But yeah, to do the sections with the Dremel, I've marked in where I want the lines to be that I'm going to be engraving. And I've done that in chalk, just so any I miss gets rubbed out. And I'm going to do some more on the handle as well, because there's a lot of detailing on this handle on the original. Next up, I'm making the guard to go onto the blade. Now, basically it's going to end up being a relatively circular or oval shape around the blade, and then I'm going to carve the patterning into it as one solid piece. Now to this, you have to cut a set of triangles. They all point down into the foam, so it will bend up into be a circular bit like that. Now that is a complete mess, because I stuck it all together, then realised then remembered at least that I had to film this bit. So that is a mess, and basically it does show though is just cut triangles in, just make them bigger until it folds into the shape you want, and that's how you do that. Sorry it's not a better example though. Okay. So then, once you've made your 2 half domes, you then join them together with a straight piece and stick them onto the blade. You measure the straight piece once it's all stuck up together onto the blade, and then you'll have your handle. You then go in with a Dremel or rotary tool, whatever you want to call it, and then doing all the detailing, which is just go in, grind really. If you can't do that, you can do it with much thinner foam and cut it all out by hand. I've now stuck the guard on. Now these are the little side sections I was talking about, and there, but you can still see all the lines running through there. When I go over it with the grinder, when I go over it with the Dremel, I'm going to try to smooth them out a little bit and then fill them in with glue afterwards, just so they look better. But now I'm going to go with the Dremel and indent these lines and smooth off some of these edges just to make it look better, and maybe do this section by here as well because that needs a little bit of attention. Now basically finished the main build. Now I'm going to put a heat gun across it just to deal with all the little spiders webs and little bits of hot glue that are all over the place for it. Just tidy it up a little. And also on this occasion I'm going to try heat sealing all the foam. I've heard of the technique and I want to give it a go, but I'll tell you afterwards or in a little bit whether it worked or not. So basically from what I gather, the technique is get a hot air gun and go and just basically heat up the outside surface till it changes colour a little, and then it should be sealed because of heat from the gun. I haven't tried it before, so let's see. The paint going onto the heat sealed foam doesn't actually look that bad. It's not as smooth as when you use Plasti Dip, but it does work for sealing it. It's going to save me a fortune making props all the time. But okay, so let's come back. I've done everything on it in just plain silver, just a metal undercoat. I've also done the little diamonds in there, and that's just using acrylic. I mixed up to look lighty pink. I may do a little bit extra for detailing in it. And I'm going to do a goldish colour around the guard, and that should be it. Painting is generally just a metal sword. I've finished painting the sword. Now for the handguard, I've done a really thin coat of yellow on it, so it should look relatively brass coloured. Well, it's supposed to be gold, but most people think brass is gold. So yeah. Then on the handle, or on the blade, I've done some pink in the diamonds, which cut into it, and then that's about it. If I was doing this one again, I'd do the tip of the blade a little bit sharper because it's quite square, and stick those bits better. But again, it's not bad. Got a decent amount of flex to it. I wouldn't use it in a fight at least. So, okay.